The anti-gay right in this country has made it a common practice to reframe calls for an end to discrimination against LGBTQ people as a demand for special rights. And they aim to cultivate fear in others about how special rights for gays will result in some kind of loss for themselves. While evidence of the discrimination, intimidation, and isolation faced by LGBTQ people in this country has been widely documented and is readily available in any number of media or scholarly sources for anyone to access, this rhetoric of special rights carries a great deal of weight in the popular imagination. Other historians have complained that this special mini-conference is evidence of pandering to the gay agenda and giving gay history special consideration, when in fact LGBTQ history is one of the most marginalized specialties in the profession. Historians have documented this extensively, including Mark Stein's 2001 report, which was published in Perspectives and can be accessed at the AHA website online. The more recently formed AHA LGBTQ Historians Task Force will soon be conducting a new survey on these issues as well. Historians are a diverse and motley crew. While the AHA has an official non-discrimination policy that includes sexual orientation, this by no means signifies that all or even most historians support gay marriage or even LGBTQ civil rights more generally. Intellectual freedom in deciding what to teach in our courses is something both prized and hotly contested in the profession. Each semester, as we build our courses, we face the challenge of deciding what topics and texts are so important that we must include them. We debate with ourselves and our colleagues about the value in assigning classic and seminal works of history versus the newest and most cutting-edge texts. We struggle with defining what the narrative of our course will be and which arguments and ideas we will use to disrupt it. And this is one of the places where LGBTQ history gets lost. Even for historians who are generally supportive of LGBTQ civil rights, it becomes a special issue, and if they make time or space for this special issue, some other beloved book or article or topic will be lost. Others read some LGBTQ history, but can't justify dedicating an entire week to the study of a group of people that is so small, so marginal to history. Still others worry about the reception of students, the gaze of department chairs or tenure committees. These examples may capture only a few of the reasons why historians neglect to teach LGBTQ history in their courses. My main point here is to reframe this dynamic, just as gay activists continually reframe the narrative of special rights to highlight the reality of our discrimination. Occasional recognition of a book, such as that enjoyed by George Chauncey's Gay New York, which was widely assigned in graduate seminars for years, signals tokenism and has not resulted in widespread reconceptualization of the period. I recently reviewed the newest edition of a widely taught U.S. history textbook. In 1,000 pages of text, gay life and community was covered in less than one page. One paragraph covered the early part of the 20th century, and one paragraph covered the modern gay rights movement. The popular and timely historical website, History News Network, uses the tagline, quote, "because the past is the present and the future too." There is no way that this textbook, or any survey course in U.S. history, women's history, political history, or urban history, which neglects the LGBTQ community, can be said to accurately represent the past. The erasure of LGBTQ experience from history, the resistance of non-LGBTQ historians to teaching our history, and the continual marginalization of our histories into select and rarely taught upper-level seminars have all contributed to the very shallow, polarized, and ahistorical debates over same-sex marriage in the national media for the past decade. As teachers of U.S. history at diverse institutions across the country and even around the world, we are poised to change that. As an undergraduate history major, I looked to social justice movements of the past to better understand the culture wars of the 1990s. The breadth of available historical studies about the women's movement and the African American civil rights movement at that time was readily available to me and provided me with a much deeper understanding of the issues, positions, and people involved. It inspired in me a love of the past, not as a static record of events, but as a living documentation of experiences and struggles which continue to shape people's lives, including my own, in the present. The debate over gay marriage is raging on nationwide and shows no sign of stopping. Standing with hundreds of mostly young people in New Haven that day did not assuage my own ambivalence about the gay marriage movement. I was inspired by their enthusiasm and conviction. I wondered why they weren't as passionate about fighting for transgender rights, employment non-discrimination laws, or against the physical and rhetorical violence that so many of us face every day. But if we have learned anything from LGBTQ history, it is that our movement is a diverse one with many fronts. Gay marriage is but one proposed solution to a particular set of indignities, many of which will persist for LGBTQ couples and individuals, even if gay marriage is legalized. Finally, knowledge is power. The absence of knowledge about the history and diversity of LGBTQ people and communities has stood as the single most significant obstacle to the movement for LGBTQ freedom and equality. Teaching LGBTQ history in your classes does not make you a gay activist. Recognizing LGBTQ history as central to the narrative of U.S. history rather than marginal, incorporating it into courses in thoughtful ways, committing yourself to reading at least one new LGBTQ history monograph each year, supporting junior colleagues who teach LGBTQ content, taking job candidates with LGBTQ-themed dissertations seriously as general scholars are all powerful steps that you can take to stand against the long-standing marginalization and suppression of the LGBTQ